Hey there, welcome everyone to another episode of Watch Soup on a Sunday evening. Yes, I'm Bobby Legs and I'm on my own this evening. We're going to have an abbreviated version of Watch Soup. I'm going to be only covering a couple of videos. Watchdog Clayton feeling under the weather this evening. And Sanjay, well, Sanjay is still taking some time off from Watch Soup, but hopefully he'll be back soon. His life is very busy, as all of us are, right? Hey, I don't know about you guys. Just a little chit chat before we get into it. The Northeast, we got hit with a crazy snowstorm, and yesterday, right? And man, I was driving it. I went to go see somebody in. I live in New Jersey. I went to go see a friend who was visiting from California, who was staying in South Jersey, and South Jersey and North Jersey. The weather varies greatly, right? So it snowed a little bit, but it was mostly rain. And I was coming back home, and I was hoping to stay ahead of the storm. But the GPS took me to some of these country roads, and man, it was scary. It was scary. I peeled out a couple times. I had to get dug out by a plow. When the town plow came by, just at the right time because I was stuck, and I was actually kind of nervous that I was going to be spending the night in the car there, and the guy came, salted, and then I just got into the highway. I went to a diner that was about maybe like 20 minutes away from my house. My wife was telling me that our street and the road leading up to our house and the street leading up to our house, so there's a road and then our street wasn't plowed. So it took me about a 2 hour trip, ended up taking me about 5 hours, 5.5 hours. So, but made it. We made it. And now we're going to get a crazy storm. We're going to get another crazy storm. It's going to be all rain. Crazy, crazy weather. Had to get that off my chest. Anyway, so got the got the Heinrich on this evening. Wearing that tonight. I love the green dial on it. Nice, nice bezel action. Just really cool, interesting German micro watch. I know I get teased a little bit by some of you guys, but I like it. It looks cool. It looks cool. Anyway, let's say hello to the chat, and then we'll get right into tonight's topics. Hey, Maison is here. How you doing? Greetings, watch folks. Have work tomorrow in about 6 hours. Oh man, you should be sleepy, dude. Catch me on the replay. But I appreciate Maison the support and being here live. I really do. Bill K is here. How you doing, Bill? Bruno, good to see you. Scatterbrain, what's up? Nate Dog is here. Hey, James, you ready for soup? And I hope I'll deliver a couple bowls of soup tonight. Low carbon for Chaz this evening. Ken Spear, what's up, buddy? Checking in from Pittsburgh. Awesome to see you. Your Steelers are in the playoffs. Congratulations if you're a Steelers fan. Caliber is here. How you doing, Caliber? Yeah, Bruno, you got a foot of snow and how it's smelling. Yeah, we got about like 7 or 8 inches. 7 or 8 inches. It was crazy. I mean, it just felt like we haven't had a significant snowfall in a couple years, right? It was 2 years. Um, but I live in some of these like country roads, man, and they just don't get plowed. They're just not top priority. And I took a risk yesterday going to see my bud, and then knowing that it might be Harry coming back home, and yeah, man, I'm just grateful I made it. Chaz saying Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year to you too, Chaz. Simply for the bezel, I would be so flash if you brought Axel back on the talk about Gino watches. Yeah, I haven't talked to Axel in a long time. Would love to have him on. We'd probably have to do like one of these like Saturday early afternoon US time chats because he's in Germany and 6 or 7 hours. But love to do that. I haven't chatted with him, but we do every once in a while. Send a message to each other. We've done that before. But it's been a long time. But I'll reach out to him because um, get a little state of the German watch industry and what's new. I learned so much from him in those couple of talks that we've had and that stream that we had together. So yeah, love to have him. Thanks for reminding me, Symphony. Um, Underachieving Watch Collector is here. How you doing, bud? Mr. Time Hill, good to see you. Um, hey, James. All right. Hey, buddy. Good to see you too. Um, Shout out Maison to Thomas Burnett with his new Rolex. Oh, he got the palm dial in the Bobby Legs Discord. He put up a picture of the palm dial that he got 36 date millimeter date. Just such a great looking watch. I mean, I wasn't really sure when that watch came out how I felt about that, kind of dial design, but man, it looks so good. It looks so good on Thomas too. Hey, Ms. Nine is here. Good to see you, Ms. Nine. And that will wrap it up. All right, so let's jump into this abbreviated version. Two videos that I'm happy to talk about too because I think they bring up some good discussion. And since I'm on my own, hey, I want to get some feedback from you guys in regard to those videos as we go through it. So let me pull up the first banner here, and the first video we're going to talk about the Time Teller 2024 watch trends, 10 things that he doesn't want to see in 2024. So obviously I had to take a look at this video and I picked it before even watching it, right? I picked it before it, and I'm really glad. And there's a couple points here that, man, that really got me going. And I think you'll know as soon as I read them. If you haven't watched the video already, you'll know. So number one, a trend that he doesn't want to see: no more Seiko 5KXs, especially these collaborations that are out there that Seiko has been doing. Enough already. He targets Seiko a couple times here in his list. I think he's got an emotional falling out with Seiko. It seems the Time Teller does. So just no more 5KX collabs. And sure enough, in the last couple of years, they really leaned into that 5KX. And put out some great pieces, right? I mean, there's some good looking 5KXs out there, great price point, some great collabs there. I really like the Honda racing one that they came out with last year. I think it was last year. A very, very cool green use of green in that watch, and some other ones that are really cool. But then there's some that are just like, okay, it's enough already. And I totally get that. But they sell, right? I mean, so the thing is, like, will Seiko, kind of give that up? Who knows? Number two, no more PRX versions of the PRX, right? It's again, great selling piece, right? For a great selling line for Tissot. But but he says, once they did that digital PRX, it really jumped the shark, and he's like bored with it now. He mentioned so please no more PRX, says the Time Teller. Number three here, and this is the one that I just was like, high five, man, awesome. No more Oris Pro Pilots with stupid colored tiles, and the first one, this first strike, that Kermit, that Kermit collaboration. Oh, he hated it. He hated it. And he says it's lucky that he didn't give him two strikes on that one. It was horrendous and offensive. He found it. And then the second strike was the laser PRX Pro Pilot. I forget the name of it, but that's what he called it too. So no more Pro Pilot collaborations or colored dials, stupid colored dials. He's done with that, and that really kind of like just spoke to me, right? That just spoke to me. Please, Oris, no more, no more. The fourth one is actually a 3-for-1. He lobbed up three together, kind of like I kind of figured that out at the end. I didn't know if he was making it his fourth point or as three different um, trends that he doesn't want to see, but he kind of lumped them up, and that was the integrated bracelet, checker dials, blue dials, right? So there's been, the last couple of years, integrated bracelets, everybody's making them, everybody's putting them out. They sell really, really well, right? And, especially like in the affordable range too, right? You got the PRX, you got the Citizen Sayosa, you got a bunch of others that are out there, and we're inundated, right? We're inundated with all of these integrated bracelets. So he actually lumps them up as 3-for-1. So three of the nine are in this one trend that he doesn't want to see. Number five, no more Swatch collabs with other Swatch groups. He doesn't want to see any more bastardization of the classic Swatch brands. Like he doesn't want to see like a Swatch Brigade Type 20 kind of collaboration, right? He is done with those. And, it's going to be, they're going to keep doing this, right? They're going to find ways make these collaborations because, they sell, right? They sell. We see that they sell, right? And they're very, very popular. So it's hard not to, to do it. And, Swatch brand, I mean, they're in it to make money, right? They're in it to make this is their business, right? So they're going to do that. Number 6, no more Apple Watches. Okay, no more Apple Watches. All right, whatever, sure. I mean, I don't hate Apple Watches, right? And he mentioned that the fumbled release recently of or the non-release of the Apple Watch because there was some sort of violation or some copyright some feature that they were using that didn't belong to them, was trademarked or whatever, it wasn't their proprietary, and so they had to cut that production of that or the release of that watch. So no more Apple Watches. Number 7, no more carbon. Let's skip another. No more carbon releases. So he pointed out the Bulgari Octo and the GP Laureato. He doesn't really like the look of these carbon case releases and the carbon bracelet with the Octo. So enough of those. And what carbon? I mean, it's just a fancy word for plastic, right? Um, and no more Seiko limited editions. Finally, they're old. They played out, and it's not. Seiko is not the Seiko that he fell in love with anymore. Like, you know what I mean? It's absolutely changed. So what do you guys think about these top 10 trends? Do you not want to see any of these? I can tell you what. Like, look, I mean, like, sign me up for the Oris one. I'm good with that. For me, the Apple Watch. I mean, it's just it doesn't. I mean, I don't get bothered by Apple Watch. I know some people do, but I don't get. I see it as another tool that you can use for you. The collaborations with the SKXs, and I mean, again, I hear what he's saying, and it's just. I mean, it's a moneymaker, for Swatch and for Seiko, the 5K exit to do these things. Limited editions. I mean, the limited editions for the Seikos, it's a joke, right? I mean, they're not really, really limited, right? You'll see limited to like 3,000 pieces, 3,000, 5,000 pieces. Whatever. It is what it is. Integrated bracelets, it's been overdone, for sure. But these things sell. So I hear what he says. I don't have a problem with many of these trends that he doesn't want to see, but there's no stopping it. There's no stopping it. All right, let's hit up the chat and see what you guys are saying. Yeah, watch Soup Light tonight, Time Hell. So not a long one this evening. I'm on my own. I'm on my own. My boys aren't here, but that's okay. You're my boy, and we're gonna make this work. Um, Time Hell saying relationships with Seiko are complicated and not easy. Absolutely, totally agree. James said, I didn't watch the Time Teller video because he does not understand how the collabs are initiated by the partner, not Seiko. Well, yeah, okay. I hear you. I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, enough already, right? No? All right. Mason, I think this show ought to be done with milking the PRX hype. They need to find something else to milk. Yeah, goat. Maybe milk some goats, right? Um, Kendo, more the better with the PRX. Hmm. Hmm. Not anti-Oris like you, Bobby, but yeah, Kermit was no bueno. Ugh. Totally, totally. Hey, Wayman's here from an onboard flight from Tucson to Phoenix. We'll see how the Wi-Fi holds up. Well, have a safe trip and enjoy, Wayman. Um, sounds of time. Hey, Sam's here. Hey, Sam. ProPilot X in general was a missed opportunity with the dial design. Some numerals or something functional would have been nice. Okay. Apple can just buy them out. Bruno's saying, "Here's what I think. I think the TT is a jerk, and I stopped watching him a few years ago." Okay, well, you're not gonna like. Excuse me. You're not gonna like everybody. That's fine. I hear you. Maison says, "I don't do Apple, so I don't care about Apple Watch." Yeah, I don't do Apple either. Well, I mean Apple Watch. I mean, I have other Apple products, but to me, like the Apple Watch, it's not really a watch. It's just an extension of every other Apple product. So I just don't like mentally make that connection. Um, and James says, I just don't want yet another gatekeeping video. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. Fair enough. Okay, so let's move on to the next and last topic video of this evening for the abbreviated version of WatchSoup. Sorry, guys, I just keep on saying it, but and it's WatchChris and WatchChris, a friend of the channel, did a reaction video. A couple years ago, he did a video of why he will never own a Rolex, and apparently, an article was written about Chris's video and kind of taking the opposite stance of Chris and really trying to I guess debate Chris, but without actually inviting him to debate on the in the article. And so Chris is, I don't know if he just found this article because he did mention it was written a little whiles back. Maybe he just did, but now he's doing a video reacting to the article, and so like I found this a very interesting video, and I like Chris, and I like the way he formulates his opinions and ideas in regards to the watch and the watch community. Yeah, let's take a look at what he says. Um, so he mentions the old video, and he wants to preface by saying that he just recently made a best watches of 2023 and 23, and and he has a Rolex in there, the Yachtmaster Titanium, and he just wants to get at the point that he doesn't hate Rolex, right? He actually very much respects Rolex. But in the past, he had mentioned that he will never buy Rolex, and we'll get into some points here. But I think he wanted to address some of the reasons why maybe um, he has his stance, right? And so, like, one of them is like he starts describing the several different types of Rolex buyers and Rolex collectors, and we'll hit on that last type of buyer that I think kind of turned him off of Rolex to a certain point. He said that before quarantine, before the pandemic, there was plenty of Rolex collectors. They collected it before the hype um happened, so they were just genuine uh fans of Rolex, or watch collectors who collected multiple Rolexes. Now he says there's other type of collector that started after the hype, but loves Rolex, and are genuine collectors, right? I mean, they appreciate what Rolex is, and they have maybe several of them in their collection. And then there's like the third person, and that's the hype person, and these are the people who go on social media, Instagrammers, YouTubers, people on Facebook who are constantly posting pictures of the Rolex. They want people to see that they have Rolex, that they have the money to buy it, and that is a huge turnoff to a lot of us, right? We know those people. We've seen those people. We know what they're about, really. And so they've created this hype environment, right? So now the pricing uh, of the Rolexes have skyrocketed because of the hype. And for example, he likes that again. I go back to that titanium Yachtmaster. Now, like on a secondary market, he was saying that I mean, now they're at $30,000, and while he likes that watch, he doesn't like it for $30,000, right? And so that is definitely, you know, kind of like a deterrent, maybe, why he has that feeling of why he will not own a Rolex, or one of the reasons why, right? And so uh, the article had mentioned that Chris had said that Rolex was a piece of blank, right? And I guess we could figure out what he said. And Chris says that he never said that. He said that he believed Rolex is a mass-produced item, and he compared it to the Porsche 911, right? And the writer says that Rolex is an everyday super watch, and Chris agrees with the term of super watch because it is a mass-produced watch. Right now, he says maybe like a an Aquanaut and a Nautilus, those are super watches, right? Because they're like hand finished, right? And like certain Porsches are hand finished, not like your stock 911. So it's not the stock 911, the one that's mass produced. That's not a supercar. It's a sports car, but it's not a supercar. And so, again, marrying the thought of paying secondary pricing on the hype inflated price of the Rolex, where the pricing is at the, kind of like where other hand finished watches are, that does not compute for uh, for Chris. So that's another reason why he probably won't then won't ever own a Rolex. And then the third point comes that he never, his philosophy in buying watches is that he never pays retail, right? And so, like that yacht master, that titanium yacht master, that's way above what he's willing to pay because it's way above retail, and he doesn't feel like it's the value is there for that watch. And because he will never pay retail, he doesn't have these relationships with a lot of these ads or boutiques that you would have to have in order to procure a Rolex at retail. Now, he did say that, with the hype, you're going to see, and you have seen, pricing coming down, which may make it very tempting to him at some point. But you get the feeling that that number is not there yet, right? He's not at that number. And look, I think I hear where Chris was coming from, right? He definitely is not calling it like, he's never going to end up buying a Rolex. He just doesn't feel like it fits with his, purchasing philosophy. And he just doesn't like the fact that it's been hyped and the way it's been hyped, and that's been causing the pricing in the secondary market to go up, which then again comes back to not fitting with his purchasing philosophy. So he still leaves the door open, though, that it is possible that he will, and it's just not right now. So I totally get that. Like, I think, I've owned several Rolexes in my life, and I bought them via the AD or the boutique at MSRP, and I couldn't imagine, spending multiples. Not all of them. There's certain models that will be multiples of MSRP, but I could imagine paying like double or like 50% more for a Rolex timepiece. Look, I mean, if I was wealthy, if I had money to burn and I didn't want to wait, yeah, I'd probably make some exception. Would just buy it if I wanted. I just buy it. If I had the money wasn't an issue, I would just buy the Pepsi at $21,000 or $22,000, where whatever it is now, or the Daytona at close to 28 or 30,000, depending on the model. I would just do it. I just, wouldn't wait and try to develop a relationship like that. But I mean, I don't have those kind of funds, so I'm very much in the camp where like I have to develop that kind of relationship for it. So the article in wrapping up called um, Chris a snob, for his stance, and which he totally disagrees. He doesn't think he came out that way, and the article called him a curmudgeon, which he says, yeah. I mean, if you know the definition of curmudgeon, which is somebody who's old and grumpy, he's old and grumpy. So he definitely buys that. But he says that he wished at least that, the writer of the article would have reached out to him and so they can have a discussion. And he feels justified. Watch Chris about his opinion. He mentioned that, albeit that that video did not get as many views as some of his other videos got, but his percentage of likes were of that video were consistent with the percentage of likes in his other videos. So he definitely had a lot of validation, and many people agreed with him. Although, some people had comments that they disagreed, but most people agreed. And looking in the comments of the article, which he said notably there were only 5, most of the people agreed with him, like 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5, and then one person kind of like took Chris's side on it. So, um, yeah, I think Chris doesn't really have to explain himself um, for what he likes to buy and how he likes to buy it, but I do understand um, wanting to explain yourself, especially when somebody kind of um, misinterprets what you say, uh, and you just want to set the record straight. Totally get that. Let's see what the chat is saying. Uh, Somebody says WatchChris puts out great stuff. Any publicity is good publicity unless you are John Doe 36. James saying WatchChris videos are always measured and well reasoned. He does not rely on hot takes and outrage culture. Tough living in New York City with no spend history at a Rolex. That's true. Maison saying, haven't watched this video, but am agreeing with a lot of what he says. I purchased a watch, not a brand. I like very few Rolexes, not in a hurry to get one, especially at forced secondary prices. Yeah, yeah. I totally agree with you on that one, Maison. I mean, we all have our opinions, right? And we all deserve some pushback, especially when we put it up, publicly. I have no problem with that. And I think Chris backed up what he said, and he backed it up in a sense that made perfect sense to me. The hype, affecting the price of a watch, and therefore not consistent with his type of purchasing philosophy. And that's probably the reason why he'll never own it. He doesn't hate Rolex. He actually loves Rolex, he said. But he doesn't love it at prices that are equal to some other hand finish watches, everyday super watches. So I totally get that. And it's not fair to lump up, Rolex with those watches and those watches with Rolex. This is all just hype generated, right? And so people just want to show off what they have, and they want people to know that they have money, and they want people to know that they have money to buy these kind of things. And it is a it is part of social media that is very show me. I'm not going to be a boomer. I'm not going to be the old guy saying, oh, social media is terrible, it's ruining the country. Some social media is probably not doing us any favor, but overall, in general, social media is a good way to stay connected with people and meet new people and share ideas. And yes, there you know times when it just goes off the rails in a negative way, and and then it just gives the illusion of what things are not. you know so anyway, I appreciate you guys tuning in this evening. um all alone, I think we did it. I think we made it through. It's a half hour, but that's okay. On the abbreviated, a short version of of Watch Soup. Anyway, guys, in the description below, if you want to catch up with some of the podcasts, Watchdog, Clayton Watchdog podcast with Clayton, he has a link and a playlist for those Watch Soup episodes from the past. Sanjay's channel, link below. He just did a great review on his Zenith Defy 36. Oh, I know there's something, the model, I forget the the rest of the name of the model. But anyway, great watch, and he did a great stream yesterday, reviewing all of his purchases in the last year. So please go check that out. Great guy, and I will see you guys on Tuesday for another episode of Watch Talk with Bobby Legs and Friends. Guys, have a great night, and I'll see you Tuesday. Take care.